waiting for my computer to catch up. That little bit of lag. Hope everyone's having a safe week. The smoke haze doesn't seem to be quite as bad today. Come on, computer. Okay. There we are. Oh, where'd you go? Like all things technology, it's a work in progress, don't you know? So it's Friday. And what's everybody's plans this weekend? Is anybody on with me? Say hi. I saw it a second ago. Okay. What happened? Let's see. I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this one. I am learning as I go, like I had told you if you saw my message today. I don't know where. Let's see. Anybody there? Anybody out there? Come on, computer. What's your problem? Why aren't you showing my live? Am I live? I guess that would be the question, wouldn't it? New activity. Well, if somebody's out there, let me know that you can hear me and see me. And on this somber day that we will never forget. Come on, computer. What are you doing? Go back in, see if it's there. Oh my goodness. Stuff is getting scary out there on the west coast here. Okay, there we are. Yay. Okay. I can see my hand. So, let's talk about some new inks that we have. Oxide distressing inks. Okay, so my first go around with it, I found out a couple of things. Here is my first attempt. This very waffly card base with kind of not very pretty colors. And I would recommend not trying it on your card base to start with until you get comfortable with them. They are quite different. So a distressed oxide ink, what is that? Well, unlike our dye, it is similar to our dye-based ink, and it's similar to our pigment ink, in that you can dry it quickly with a heat tool without using powder, and it has the pigment properties, but it will dry like our dye-based inks. It is more creamy, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I did next. So I took this lovely thin cut fancy borders. There's two more, so I'll show you in just a second. I wanted to let you know what these are, and this is the other one that I'm using today. One note, keep in mind that this stitched edge and cutting edge, so you need to know which way on your paper to put it to where you get the cutting edge where you want it. Okay, so on one of these it seems a little backwards. So this is what I cut, and these are the two I used. And I did a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's about what it looked like. Give me more right here. Get comfortable with doing it there, okay? And the washi tape is just to hold this down while it goes through the die cut machine, okay? But as you can see on this one, I have it to where this edge that cuts is cutting along here First time I did it this way. Well, that didn't help me much because I needed the straight edges around there. So just keep that in mind. So if you look at this one upside down, they're both going in or out. Hey Lori, how are you? I'm just explaining that there is that solid line there is where it cuts, so you have to be aware of not having it upside down to where it doesn't cut right. Okay, so this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that is what I cut off. So we take that part away, and on our card base. So next, what I did, actually, we'll skip that for a minute. So I'm going to set these aside. I also put foam tape on these. Okay, I'm going to set those aside, and this is the distressed watercolor cardstock. Looks like this. Okay. Now you can kind of see if I hold it up, maybe. This is a textured side, where this is a smooth side, and you can very much feel it. And let me take this away because you probably can see it. I'll get my light over here a little bit more. Okay. So see, it's rough there and it's smoother there. It's easier to start on the smooth side. Okay. And here we go. I will show you the card in a second. So these lids just kind of sit on there, like so. And I have this new little tool that comes with, you can buy, it comes with 2, so you get 2 of these, and you get 2 of the little toppers, okay? And then you can buy this refill one, which obviously I've used some, but a lot of those, okay? Alright. So, let's start with the green. Now, what I would say is the all-purpose mat is probably your friend, or if you have one of those glass tables, that would be good too. If you don't, you can use the desk pad or water paper or whatever you have, but this is a lot easier to keep clean. Also, you're going to want a roll of paper towels, okay? So, to start off with, remember this is creamier, but it is darker too. And the other property that I like about these is that while you can blend them and kind of mix the color, you can also dry them and add more colors on top and keep that color on top. Okay? So I'm going to start slow and start off the edge, which I do a lot of times. Right? You've seen that before. I'm just going to lightly get it on there until it, and I am very lightly, you can tell, because the camera is not moving wiggly much, right? So I'm just lightly getting that on there, and then I can go a little darker as it is on there. Isn't that pretty? So this is kind of going back and forth, and you might want a paper towel down just to kind of hold it so you don't get fingerprints, because like I said, it's a juicier pad, right? So we're going to do the same thing. Hopefully you don't get too tired of me. Like I said, start slow, start off the page. Hopefully you can blend that out. It's kind of, like I said, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but this paper is so much nicer. This watercolor paper is so much nicer to use. You can use, I mean, that was, like I said, that was the first time I had done it. I've only done it a handful, not even a handful of times. Okay, so now we're getting closer to the edge of the middle there. I'm just going to keep adding. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more here. And you can see it doesn't really get a lot of green on there. And it takes a lot of the ink off. So I'm going to turn it around so I can kind of hit this middle section and kind of blend right in there a little bit, okay? So you just kind of keep going till you get what you like as far as the blending in the middle goes. And it will kind of change colors a little bit, okay? So look at that, isn't that pretty? Now, oxide, what does that mean? That means when you spray this with water, which, let me get these out of the way, or at least close them up, right? When you spray this with water, it's going to oxide. And I'll just do a little bit of it. Okay, see that happening? So now I'm going to take my paper towel and let that happen a little bit. And I'm going to blot that off, okay? This paper is a little thicker. Look at how pretty that is. Now, start off lighter than what I did. I pressed pretty hard. So if you start off lighter, it'll be lighter. So, now, turn that over. So I'm going to use that one again. I'm going to heat it up just a little bit to make sure it's dry. Sorry for the noise. You see how it just kind of flattens it out? I'm going to turn it over and stay away from that area. Oh, I should have dried that, or got rid of that. Okay, so while I'm giving that a second to just kind of do its thing, I'm going to come over here and wet this area and pick all this up. Clean up our surface. Okay, here we go. Alright. So that's, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can do all kinds of things, okay? It's really fun. And it doesn't take a lot. Now, where is my, here it is. I have little bags for these. Thanks to a special friend of mine. So, what I tend to do is make sure you have your cleanup stuff. Cleanup stuff near you. And I don't know how forceful I can be with these yet, so I'm trying to be careful. I'll just stick that in there. And stick this one in here. Peeled paint and spiced marmalade are these two colors. And on that other one, you saw that I used a little bit of, what is it? Antique linen. I didn't like the color in the middle that it gave me. Let me wash my hands quick. Okay. Wiggle my light a little bit. Alright. So, then we take a card base. And we put this where we want. And then we add our two, like so. And then you can move it up and down. If you wanted to, you could even cut off a little bit more, and that's the look we're going for. Okay? But first, here's a couple of the stamps I used, and I wanted to show you how I colored them. So I am going to pull in a little bit of the marmalade, the peeled paint, and just, oops, sorry, and a little bit of antique linen, okay, right there. Alright, I'm going to take a watercolor brush. I'm going to put some water down by them, okay. I'm going to take some water, I'm going to do a little bit of this. So, if you use it full strength, you're going to get full strength. Okay? But then if you wet it a little bit, you can get a lighter look. So it's kind of like watercolor painting, only you're doing it with the oxide. Okay? If you want to, you can go back and add a little darker. like so. Okay? I'm going to take it over to my rag and clean it off. Same thing again with the leaves. And I'll hold this up in a sec. Just going to do like half of the leaf. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Take a little off on my paper towel. And just kind of paint with it. That way I got some depth going, okay? Now run it again, clean it off again, and my flower. Okay, now I'm just going with full strength. In the center of my flower. I need just a tiny bit of water. And I'm just going to kind of let the brush make some little, I'll show you this before I add any more. So, I'm going to make sure we're under the light. See how it's just got some little definition on there? Okay. So now I'm going to get a little bit more water, and I'm just going to finish that out. Like so. Okay. And the little bugaboo, I did similar. I got some full strength, we'll say, and colored in the body. Full strength. And just kind of like so. And then white it a little more. Dab it off if you need to. And just pull that color the rest of the way out. It's easier to pull it from the dark to the light. And it dries pretty fast. I didn't have to dry these. So there we go. That's how you can color, and just put it on a paper towel or wash it off till it's clean. Okay? Again, I'm going to take my rag here. But all this. Trust me, I'm not wasting a lot of ink. Seems like it, but I'm not. Okay. All nice and clean again. So, what I did with these and the stamp set I used is this one. This is Z3781, and it's the Garden Gnomes. And I love that there's all of that. It's just a really nice set. There's that, there's that. And as you know, everything that is that blue highlight has a thin cut. Yay! We like thin cuts, don't we? Don't we, Lori? Our best friend. So I used this guy here. And I will post a picture. I colored the whole thing with that, the same as I did these. And I'll put a picture of him because the card, you can't quite see him anymore. So here's what I did. And this one actually came out a little bit better on the wet spots, on the oxide parts. And I did cut out his big long beard and layered it on top. And you can see it's 3D'd. And there you go. There's your first card. Okay. What else can we do? Now the second one is kind of where I think I would start. Okay? Might be a little easier. So here's our two pieces. Again, oh, that's the wrong piece. This piece. Those match. So I had to do one with the line of the cut this way, turn it around and do the line of the cut this way. Okay? So now we were going to make, let's see, what green? I still use this green. I only have that one green. So I'm going to put that away. And we're going to use candy apple. And actually, I'll just do the candy apple one because it's the same as what you do for that one. So that way it's, you're not sitting here watching me put paint down. Put that on there. And like we did before, start on the edges I'm kind of leaning it like this to kind of just get those edges started. Okay. So it's kind of a just take your time with it. To layer your color on. And right now I can hold because I can hold in the middle. And I tend to kind of like to, oh, something on there. Get that off of there. Okay. And your fingers are going to get, it's mixed media. Your fingers are just going to get in it. Okay? Actually, let me get another paper towel. Or you could use a piece of cardstock. Okay. Try to be a little quicker at this, but it does just kind of take a little bit of time. And the slower you go, just enjoy the process, I guess. Would be a good way to say it. So we're just going to keep it covering, till you get it to where you like it. And it will cover pretty good. Like I said, it's creamy, and this is just cardstock now. So you just have to be a little bit slower. Normally we sponge and it just, does its thing. But this one is so pretty if you take your time with it, okay? Hopefully you can hear me. Alright, there we go. You can tell that I'm not pushing very hard because if I was pushing hard, the camera would be wiggling. My phone would be wiggling. So there we go, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I think I want just a smidge more right up there. But see, as we get it on there, it's kind of like the bottom layer of the white you have to be careful with, and then it's got enough on there that it kind of blends and helps you out. But it would still be gentle with it, okay? So there we go. So this is much easier because you don't have to blend the two colors together, right? You just have that one color. All right. And then this one I would have done in the green as well, okay? So, let's clean up my mess. Just, oops. It dried, so see, you need the water to pick it up. All right, there we go. All nice and dry. And now we can squirt this. And just as little as you want or as much as you want. I'm going to pick up the water while it's doing its thing. You can already see it turning. And then if you want, you can just kind of blot it off a little bit. And we're going to heat it up again. This one you have to be a little bit more, see, okay, it kind of went flat, so because I don't want these edges to start curling on me, I'm going to turn it over, and you can see kind of, well, that's either the background that I stuck it in, or it's wet. Here, and I kind of hold it down with my fingers. Okay. The other thing you can do is once you get it nice and heated up, turn that off. Grab a couple of your blocks and just stick them on there to flatten it out as it dries, as it cools. Okay. And then it'll be much better than that waffly one I showed you. Pretty straight, right? So what did we do with that? Well, again, I used the garden gnomes, and this time I added this stamp set, which is Z3773, the Comfort and Joy Card Making, which is that one right there. And I used this little tree, which has a thin cut, yay. There's the thin cuts. Okay. And this is the card I made. Yeah, hopefully, let's see. Hopefully you can see all the sparkles from the shimmer brush up here and on here. And I'm going to show you how I did this. I painted this the same way as you saw me painting the other items, but I wanted to show you how I got his little beard like that. So here's, pick them up. Here's one that doesn't have any gray beard yet. Okay. So I'm going to bring in a block. And this has some leftover of the clear embossing. Or clear shimmer brush. Okay. And then I'm going to take some of this charcoal shimmer brush. And I'm going to put just a little bit of that on there, on my block. I'm going to take this one again, and I want to just mix a little bit of that, okay? And you can test it, let's see, test it on there, just a little bit more. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw some lines. Isn't that crazy how one way you can do better than the other? And turn it around if you have to. Okay. And then I'm going to get rid of that color till I get my clear back. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing. And that's how you get a gray kind of beard. Now I think I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add just a little bit around the edges to define that a little bit more. Like so. That looks a little bit. That's my phone ringing. Okay. And that gives, and then let's see. Make sure you have that off of there before you put your cap back on. And that gives you a very, well, why is my camera acting so weird? It's kind of like moving around really funny. Anybody else seeing that? Well, hopefully it doesn't do that all the time. Okay, so there's how I did that. And again, here's a look at the card. Well, that's not very good, is it? Okay, well, I got one more to show you and we'll see how it goes. So, and we can use this later. If this dries, you can just re-wet it and use it again later, okay? And it doesn't hurt your block or anything. You got everything cleaned up? Yes, other than a little glitter. Alright, so I cut out another one of these. And I want to show you what I did next. So, I am going to set that there so I can kind of see where I need it to be. And actually what I want to do this time is put this on just a little bit above, okay? Basically I'm just going to make a couple of marks so that way I know that that is where that's going to fall, just under that. So again, I'm going to go just, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch longer. And I'm just going to put some dots. So now I know where to put my color, okay? So take those away. And we're going to change up colors. Hopefully a little quicker. Okay, that's off my little fingers. And now we are going to pull out Abandoned Coral and Peacock Feathers. So just dig those out. That one on there. And this one on here. Open our lids. And this one, kind of just thought, I mean, it's a lot of just playing and seeing what what you can do, okay? I'll wipe my fingers off. Okay, doesn't matter because this is going to get covered up, really. Alright, so let's see, where did I start with? I think I'm going to start with the blue. So we're going to ink it up. And I am going to kind of do a swirly kind of pattern, okay? And you can just kind of swirl along. See, now I'm getting brave, aren't I? Swirly, swirly. And then I'm going to go back with this color, turn it around this way, so I can do some more swirling. Oh, that one's much creamier. And where these two blend, that's on there so good. I'm going to go back to this one. Oh, it isn't one thing, it's another. Hold on. Hopefully my husband will get that. So now I'm going to go back with this one. And this will kind of make a purpley color in the middle. Okay. There we go. Kind of like it. Okay. There we go. So that's what we did for that. Let's see, I think I need a little bit more of this because my line is right there, which means I have not gone down far enough. Good thing to make lines. It will help. Okay, there we go. So we're under that line. So see, you can do all kinds of things with this. And I don't even see those lines anymore. We'll look at those lines. Okay, put this way. You can oxide it if you want. I don't think I sprayed it to get that effect on my card, but I do need to dry this just a bit. Now you could, make sure I got all this. You could oxide that if you wanted to, but I didn't on this one. So, because I am going to take the October stamp of the month, S2010, which is this lovely, and I use this one, and the happy birthday, and then this one. So this one, I stamped it on white paper and I cut it out, and I just barely took that Oxide ink and just kind of went around in a circle and just lightly colored that, okay? And what I did with these two, I'll show you on this one's not as, I think this one's going to be prettier. So there's my just barely, added a little bit of that silver thread, and I just stamped it in black. Now, I also noticed that it looked a little wet because these are kind of have that little bit of pigment in them. So I just dried it with the heat tool, and it was fine. So, what do you think of that one? So there's all different kinds of ways to use these. I have lots more stuff I can show you. So if you like these, let me know which is your favorite. And if you'd like to see some more, there we go. Hopefully you can see all those. Let's see. Yes, I think you can see all those. So that's what I did today. And I'll finish this one up. And like I said, I'll give you some stills of a little closer up. And I hope you enjoyed it today. And I hope that you will try some Oxide inks, Distressing Oxide inks. I really like these little tools. They're very nice to use. I haven't used them yet with our dye-based inks, but I'm sure I will. So have a great day, and I will see you next Friday if I don't see you before then.